And Retired Life Inspired begins now, but let me begin as I always do. I bear witness that there is one God, His exalted Christ, and divine reminder in our midst. I greet you all in the greeting words of peace, of Assalamu Alaikum, which simply means peace be unto you. Welcome to another edition of Retired Life Inspired. I hope you are doing well. If you notice, I have an amazing person to my left, your right, sitting here. And for those of you that are, football fans, historians, this is, and you were a wide receiver.
Yes.
Wide receiver. Oh, yeah. And it was the Redskins.
Yes.
Ooh,
Redskins, Giants, Tampa Bay.
Oh, okay. This is, for all those teams, this is my dear brother Daniel Bucks, and he is here. He is my guest today here in Retired Life Inspired. I am very honored to have a chance to interview this brother. This is someone who, had it not been for PNF and a lot of things, well, you never know how God's going to orchestrate things. I kind of wonder what I've been blessed to meet this brother. But before we go any further, I always forget to do this because I know Dimitri's going to have a fit if I don't do this. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Also remember, for those of us 50 plus single ladies, this platform is dedicated to you. As always, check out retiredlifeinspired.com to see how you can find different ways of the digital world to secure yourself, because the old ways just aren't working anymore. So do check it out in the descriptions below. Look back to my distinguished guest here. History in the NFL. What years did you play?
I played from 75 to 85.
Ooh.
I had a 10-year career.
Okay.
And I like the name of your show, but I have to eliminate myself because I don't know the definition of retired, or I've never, my 120 years on this earth. I don't know what I'm going to be doing and all during that time, but
I'm either going to have to rename this program. I had someone else ask me, and I try to explain to them that really I don't even see myself as really ever, sitting back on the rocking chair, and that's not the kind of life I'm going to have. It's always going to be one of inspiration, creativity, and doing something else. So maybe we're redefining retired
But
life.
that's all right. When you say retired, that's what people like, because they when retire, get that beach home, go down and sit back, and then they're gonna die. Yeah, no, we ain't about that.
We are not about that at all. No, we're not. But one of the things you said you played during 75 to 85. You saw a lot happen. What school did you go to before you came?
I came out of Scottsdale, Georgia. In 1969, they had integration, and I went to all-black school, but Avondale was an all-white school, and I integrated football in DeKalb County because I was the first and only black to play at Avondale. And then I went on to West Virginia University in Morgantown, West Virginia, and then after 4 years there, I was drafted by the New York Giants of the NFL, and then I went to the Washington Redskins, and then Tampa Bay. And then I went to Canada and played 1 year with the Edmonton Eskimos. We won the Grey Cup equivalent to the Super Bowl. And then I came back to the States to play in the USFL.
Okay.
And so I retired after 10 years and started a ministry basically in the school system, which I graduated DeKalb County school system here in Decatur, Georgia. Okay. And started a program, The Winning Circle, teaching boys and girls how to become productive, positive, and prosperous young people.
Right.
Taking them all over to visit colleges, to visit different cities and states and all of that, to see where a lot of history was created by black people throughout the United States of America.
Well, Yes. Well, I would say you've taken football. Some people, who have always wanted, that for some people that's just like, wow, how do you even get there? You were in it for 10 years and you took it and you utilized it in a way that would benefit others around you. What is it about sports that can translate into a person's life that you think, what are the traits or characteristics about sports that can actually, whether a person wants to go into professional, any kind of professional discipline or area in that arena, but what is it about sports that can translate into a person's lives and they can take it and they can use it for the betterment of themselves in other areas? What is it?
That's a good question, because when I look at sports, entertainment, education, or any of the 7 spheres of influence that we engulf upon, God gave all of us talents and gifts. Okay. And, I think that if you're still enough, you're quiet enough, have a relationship with God enough, He can tap into your spirit and give you the ingredients of purpose that that you have in your life to do the things that you have the gifts and talents to do. Football, sports is you have to have talent in order to be the best you can be. And sports wasn't my only avenue, and I didn't have I didn't grow up saying, I want to be a pro football player or whatever, because, in our community, we didn't have those kinds of people that have gone before us to explain this and that about. But, as I grew older and watched on TV and said that, hey, you know what, I can do that. Right. There wasn't no thing of, I want to be a pro football player. And then once you grow up and you understand the business part of the sport, you look at it as a slaveocracy. And that's what I did. Heard. Yeah. I've been somewhat of a trailblazer, rubber-rouser,
No.
In dealing with this game, because I've been outspoken, I've been a representative of the players and the owners. A lot of times they didn't like that back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Absolutely. And they don't like it now.
I was going to ask you that question. Do you think it's gotten better or worse?
Well, it's gotten worse, because when you look at it, a prime example, and most people that's listening or whatever looking, they was noticed last week when Thurs of the Miami Dolphins got injured, and they sent him back in the game, and he had a concussion. He was stumbling all over the place, and then, then the Monday night game, he got hit again, and he was like laying there paralyzed. So it took everybody back to the Darryl Stingley hit. And, they've been doing us like that for years now with the concussion protocol and not giving guys their funding or giving them their just due. And this just brings back up the topic of the subject of concussions, guys committing suicide, guys with Parkinson's, guys with Alzheimer's, all of that, because of the hits, and it's a brutal sport. And so, it just opened up another can of worms for us to dig into.
But yet and still people want to get into the game, they want to keep playing, they want to keep doing this. What do you see? And you don't have to come with the answer, the all-time answer here right now, but what would you see are some solutions that could be implemented, or some things that could happen that would offset that, so people are not just, as you say,
Somebody's
slave rock or slaveocracy.
Can you cut it off? Because they're going to ring the bell.
Okay, we had a slight pause. We're going to continue on. We had a visitor came by, and Brother didn't want it to mess up the flow. But my question was in regarding the treatment and bringing up the concussion controversy again that tends to happen with such sports as football, American football, for those of you that are watching in other places. My question is, what do you think could be done to maybe offset that? What things would you maybe like to see in terms of the treatment of these players?
Well, I would like to see, first of all, they've allocated so many funds for former players that gotten injured, and the process got to get better. We just had another suit filed last year because they came up with race norming, where they was given more, I guess you would say, funding and things to white players than black players. Okay. And so, that was something that was found out that they were doing. And, why would they even think about doing anything like that when you have 75% of football players in the pros today are black?
Wow.
So
wow.
So it's this systemic racism still taking place, and we don't know if it's going to be wiped out during our time, but it will get better, because that's why we're doing things like this, to make it better, to
bring it
put
to
it
the
out
attention.
there. Yeah.
People, people think that everything is just great now.
Yeah. Well, they see the Sunday and the Saturday and all the highlights and all of that, and Super Bowl and NBA championship, and everything is hunky-dory, but no, behind the scene is just still like, you have all the owners in the NFL are white men, and all of them are billionaires.
Wow. So,
and then you look in the NBA, Michael Jordan is the only sole owner that's black in the NBA, and 82% of players are black. So, it's that same old thing, but, we just got to keep warring, because that's what it is. It's a war.
Wow.
And we got to keep warring and
we have to
make it better.
We have to be owners. We have to have more skin in the game, as it were.
That's right.
In terms of, you have the ICC. I had a chance to witness it this year, being part of PNF, and that was amazing. That was beautiful. How would you say, and most of pretty much this whole interview has been about how you have used this area of football as a means of service. How would you describe it in your own words, how this has been used as a means of service to the community at large?
Well, Jesus said in the Bible, he said, let the greatest among you serve. And I oftentimes, as I speak to business people, whether it's Pepsi-Cola, Coca-Cola, Chick-fil-A, or whoever, in dealing with motivation and stimulating employees, sports is a platform. And that's where I've used it to create a program in the school system for 25 years, to create the Inner City Classic for the last 12 years. And, dreams and visions become a reality. And so I've just used it to serve our communities, our youth, to let them see a different avenue that you could take, the gang banging and all of that, as it's prevalent, even as it was in my day, it's still that way now. So what I've done with tours, with exposure and experience trips, is to let them see a brighter picture, a bigger picture. When I take them on trips, we stay in the best hotels. We ride on the best buses.
Nice.
we eat at the best restaurants.
They can kind of see the possibilities or what's out here. It broadens their scope of the world and see what's out there for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, I've looked at that, and Dr. King said anyone can be great if you're willing to serve. And so that's what I've made my career on is, being a servant leader.
That term gets used a lot. Servant leadership gets used a lot, but I think few people can actually, especially in your case, can actually say
I created that. I created that. That servant leadership.
You did not. You did not. That phrase, you patented that phrase.
I'm patented. I'm getting a trademark and everything. Yeah.
But a lot of people would use that in places I would work at and things like that. They'd always use that term servant leadership, and it became so passé that, like I said before, in your case, you're one of the few people that I know that really can wear that title.
Well, I've been blessed, and I look at it from the standpoint my parents. All I saw coming up was them serving community. My mother was a holistic doctor without a title.
Okay.
She had the old remedies, the teas, the salve, all that. And she drugged me and my other brother along with her. And we thought that she was on drugs because she drugged us everywhere. She drugged us to church. She drugged us to neighbor's house. She drugged us everywhere. To PTA meetings, and we say, "Oh, Mom, come on, not tonight, man. We got to study."
She sounds like a great mom.
She was. That was my shero.
There you go.
And so yeah, it's been a great process, helping younger people develop their process, develop their purpose, and to give them a plan and a preparation for life.
There you go.
And so I'm developing another strategic. I'm not writing another book yet. I'm an author of 4 books, but it's a thing that I came through with my team. You notice I'm wearing Miles College football.
All right.
And I came through with this came up with this, it was in a dream or whatever. I was waking up and God always trying to give me something. But this is a lot. And what I'm telling my team this year is that just picture that Muhammad Ali always said, "I am the greatest. I am the greatest. What's my name? What's my name?"
Yes.
And so, all of us have the seed of greatness in us.
This is true.
But the scariest thing is when you have the seed of greatness in you and you keep it locked up. And so what I've done, I went and bought a bunch of locks and I gave them to the coaches and the players. And I told them, I said, in order for us to be not only successful, but significant, you got to turn the key.
Oh, wow.
If you want to unlock all of this talent, all of these gifts in you, it's not enough for you to have a lock and a key, and you don't turn it.
There you go.
So I don't know if that's the end of this, but I tell you what, I'm patenting this too. I'm getting this trademarked. But you can use it though if you want to. You can use it.
But that visual, that should touch somebody who is watching. I want to thank you. This has been beautiful. We hope to visit you again because that'd be cool to visit you around the ICC. That'd be really cool.
Feel free.
Yeah. You know what? Turn the key. Pop the lock. Grow. Take that.
Look at it. She's taking it already. I'm gonna take up an offering for her before she leaves. She got to pay for it.
But I want to thank you again for joining us here, Retired Life Inspired. As always, do check out our acknowledgements below in the description, all of our wonderful regular acknowledgements. Also, do remember to like, subscribe, and share. And above all, continue to create your life inspired. And as always, peace, and take care.